Greetings, residents of Fitchburg. Today I stand before you with immense pride and a heart full of gratitude. As mayor of this city, I have had the privilege of witnessing Fitchburg's evolution from what started as an historic New England mill town to the blossoming city we see today. Under my administration, our city has facilitated remarkable economic growth, the return of businesses to our downtown, the redevelopment of our historic mills into residential and commercial spaces, and the surge in new entrepreneurs have brought a renaissance in our beloved Fitchburg. Managing a city comes with challenges and opportunities. One of our more daunting challenges is the maintenance of our roads. I'm proud to say our DPW continues to carry out a comprehensive pavement plan encompassing a 5-year time frame. This process is complicated and may change at any time. We are and have been prepared to implement road improvements with the expertise of our engineering group. We know what to do. However, at the end of the day, road paving needs more than a plan. It needs revenue. I've been a frequent visitor to the State House fighting for more dollars to address our paving needs, and I will continue that fight. My administration has appropriated well over $10 million in available funds, which address capital needs and road engineering efforts. Parks offer residents spaces to relax, exercise and socialize, and reconnect with nature. Through the leveraging of federal dollars, we have been able to expand and invest in public spaces at no incremental cost to taxpayers, from securing $658,000 to our city parks to securing $2 million to the Crocker Field Restoration Project. I am also proud to mention that last year we cut ribbon on the Sam Pollock Community Playground, which is the region's first ever sensory-inclusive community park for children with intellectual impairment, autism, and visual limitations. This is an acknowledgement that urban planning isn't just about buildings and roads, but about creating spaces where all residents can breathe, play, and come together. Education is the cornerstone of a thriving community. By securing funding for our schools, it is a commitment to investing in our city's bright future. I am pleased to report that under my administration, well over $4 million in local taxes has been invested towards school building projects such as South Street Elementary School and Longs Joe Middle School, and committing approximately $30 million to the new Crocker School Elementary Building Project. It is not just the physical aspects of growth that make us a thriving community. It's our rich blend of cultures, our commitment to education, and our unmatched spirit of community. Our focus on being an arts and culture community has brought a vibrance and resiliency that has elevated Fitchburg and is leaving its mark as a creative cornerstone within the region. The partnerships we've built with local businesses, nonprofits, and educational institutions have been pivotal in this transformation. Together, we have turned challenges into opportunities. In areas where there were once empty lots, now stand new developments. In areas where there was once doubt, now there's a robust sense of community pride. Let's not forget that growth requires persistence. The journey ahead, though promising, will have its challenges. But if history is any indicator, Fitchburg will remain resilient. Together, we will not just endure, but we will thrive. I am deeply humbled to be your mayor and thank you for the unwavering faith you have placed in me and the city's leadership. On Tuesday, September 26th, I ask for your vote. Vote not just for me, but a vote for progress, promise, and prosperity for all. God bless this nation, God bless this Commonwealth, and God bless the great city of Fitchburg. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Samantha Sam Squalia. I am a current city councilor at large and a candidate for your next mayor of Fitchburg. I stand before you, a proud product of our vibrant community. Born and raised here, Fitchburg is the place that has shaped me into who I am today. Through my 3 terms of service as your city councilor, I have spoken with and assisted thousands of our residents with concerns and solutions, and have had a front seat to witness the shifting landscape of our city and our city government. I have seen many fiscally irresponsible decisions that will negatively impact our taxpayers and our municipal budgets for many years. I have seen our roads deteriorate without proper maintenance, seen us neglect proper project planning, and waste our limited paving money on roads we know must be ripped up by 5 years by EPA mandate. And I have seen firsthand transparency to our local government eroded, access to public records blocked, and decisions made with facts purposely obscured from our legislative body. These challenges have fueled my resolve to work hard for the change that we need. And that is why I stand before you today as a candidate for mayor of this city that I love. When I am elected mayor, fiscal responsibility and long-term fiscal planning will be the priority again. Fitchburg will have an independent mayor who is accountable for her actions, cooperative with her peers, and respects all members of this community. I am committed to working hard to address our concerns and promote and capitalize on our assets and positive business and community investments. Fitchburg needs to harness this promise and potential with new energy. We need a mayor with the commitment, the passion, and the business experience to translate these opportunities into long-term success. I will be that mayor for Fitchburg. Together, we will bring energy, reliability, and transparency to the office of mayor once again. It is time to reorganize and streamline our business permitting process, ensuring that the path to investment in our city is smooth and does not include unnecessary obstacles and red tape. Businesses choosing to invest in Fitchburg should be welcomed with support, not bureaucratic hurdles, endless delays, and unknown fees. It is time to develop a comprehensive pavement management plan so we can utilize the limited road funding we get efficiently and start to pave our way forward out of this road repair deficit we have only seen grow. And Fitchburg deserves a culture of inclusivity and respect. A Fitchburg where every voice is heard, where our city employees, businesses, and residents have an opportunity to collaborate around the table and not just always invite a select few. Let's create a united Fitchburg, where the strength of our diversity in our community shines through in every decision that we make. I am here with an energy, a dedication, and a vision for Fitchburg that does not just survive, but thrives. And I will need your help. Join us as we move Fitchburg forward together. Let's take the baton and run forward with energy and enthusiasm. Let's transform our challenges into opportunities by capitalizing on the foundations of success that we have built together. Join us at elect-sam.com or text or call me anytime at 978-352-0310. Vote Samantha Squalia on September 26th and November 7th. And thank you so much for your support.
Hello, Fitchburg. My name is Sally Cragen, and I am running for re-election to the Fitchburg City Council. I humbly ask for one of the 5 votes you may cast for City Council at large. For the past 2 years, I have served as a counselor at large and worked with residents all over the city on a variety of issues ranging from parking to property questions to healthcare issues to school concerns. Before I was elected to our council, I served for 14 years on Fitchburg School Committee, including a term as vice chair. I co-founded 2 vital subcommittees, Building Needs and Student Support, and served on many others, including negotiations, finance, and policy. During my time on the school committee, Fitchburg made unprecedented improvements to our buildings, expanded and improved curriculum, made sure our teachers and staff were compensated appropriately, also supported and enhanced special ed, the arts in the schools, and the Honors Academy at the high school. We even reinstated the high school musical, which had ceased to exist. Providing enrichment opportunities for students is essential for growing our city. I came onto the city council ready to work and understanding the structure of city government, as well as a deep familiarity and love for Fitchburg's neighborhoods, organizations, social and church groups. I live in West Fitchburg with my family, my husband Chuck, and our children, Christopher and Jet. We love living here, and I am glad our children are developing the same deep roots I have in Fitchburg. My grandfather, George Krikor Marajanian, a survivor of the Armenian genocide, co-founded Star Cleaners, which still exists as a business in the 1930s. I grew up working in the business and understand from firsthand experience how important hard work and collaboration is for a business to be successful in Fitchburg. I am also the chair of Stratton Players, the oldest community theater in our region. As the director of Be Positive Therapy Pets and Community Education, I work with therapy pet teams in our schools to improve our students' reading and comprehension and behavior. Did you know that Fitchburg is the leader in the state of Massachusetts for the number of hours that our volunteer therapy pet teams give to our students? We also visit residential care facilities, after-school programs, church groups, the sundial, the sheriff's office, and anywhere we are asked. We organize low-cost pet vaccine clinics with the Friends of Fitchburg Dogs at the fire department twice a year, so families can keep their pets safe. I also write for the Sentinel and Enterprise. You can find my columns every Sunday in the paper. 2 years ago, realizing residents were not getting consistent information about events in Fitchburg, I started the Reveille, a downloadable newsletter you can get by email. On the City Council, I've served as the chair of the City Property Subcommittee, and I am proud to tell you that City Hall is working very hard to remove blighted or vacant properties from our rolls, putting them out to developers for the purpose of home building, starting a business, or expanding a business. Recently, 2 large properties, 491 Main Street and the Laurel Street School, were put out to bid and were purchased. I can't wait to see what these builders do. Thank you for watching. Thank you, FATV, for making this opportunity available. Again, my name is Sally Cragen. I am asking for one of your 5 votes you may cast for Fitchburg City Council Councilor at Large. I can be reached by text or calling 978-320-1335. That's 978-320-1335. Thanks, Fitchburg. We'll see you at the polls.
Hello, voters of Fitchburg. My name is Marcus DiNatale, candidate for re-election to the Fitchburg City Council as an at-large member. Currently, I am the longest-serving city councilor at the age of 40 years old. I have served for 16 years on the City Council, and prior to that, 2 years on the Fitchburg School Committee. I built a home here 10 years ago with my wife, Sarah, where we raised our 2 children, John and Sophia, both of us being lifelong residents. I was on the City Council in 2008 during the Great Recession. My first year in office on the council, we were met with immense financial and economic challenges that caused tremendous pain to all of the populace in this city, whether it was streetlights being turned off, library being shuttered, recreational programs cut, public services, public safety reduced, public works, you name it. For 5 years at that point, 2008 to 2013, we weathered the storm as best we could. But that experience that I have that no other candidate has is immensely important for meeting challenges in the future that may arise head-on with a calm and cool head. I am the most experienced candidate in this race, and with that experience comes a breadth of knowledge about our city's finances, our strengths and our weaknesses, and how to best address those issues that come for us when we least expect it. On the subject of the roads, an issue that I hear about every day. I drive these roads, I see how they look, and I know the condition, as do you. What you will hear in this election, like you hear every election, is from people running for office who are making promises to you that they know they cannot keep. The job of a city councilor is to assess the spending priorities of the mayoral administration, whether they make sense to the entire city at large. We have a large budget. And all we can do as councilors is vote to approve spending requests from the mayor's office. And every time the mayor's office provides a spending request for road paving, I will vote yes every single time. That is my promise to you. And that is the only promise that I and any other candidate running for this position should make to you. I have read online and heard about a pavement management plan as a solution to our road problems. Let me tell you here and now that that pavement management plan, whatever it is not a solution. It is a smokescreen. The city already has a pavement management plan. Our DPW commissioner, who is an engineer, along with the engineers in our engineering division, have a plan. The reason why that plan is not published for the public's consumption, and hasn't been for 16 years that I've been on the council, is because that plan is fluid. It changes. All it will serve to do is anger people. You publish a plan with a set amount of streets and dates, and those dates and streets will not get done according to that plan, guaranteed. And what will be the result? Anger and frustration. Having a plan that calls for a plan that already exists does absolutely nothing to address the core problem, which is funding. With the state not funding us adequately for 14 years and counting, and with our topography challenges unmatched by any other city or town, we face immense challenges in this area. And the only solutions are very simple, but very hard to attain. More Chapter 90 funding from the state, massive budgetary cuts in a budget that is 96% plus non-discretionary, or property tax increases that only you, the voters, can vote for at the ballot box. There's no fourth option, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Be that as it may, my pledge to you is very simple on the roads. They remain a priority of mine, and I will do everything I can when the time comes to me to support funding to add on top of our state funding for road paving. I have done that, and I will continue to do that. So I ask you for another vote this election, and what you will get from me is hard work, honesty, transparency, and accessibility. I will be listed second on the ballot for councilor at large, and I ask for your vote. One of your votes, you have up to 5. I ask for one of those 5 votes this November 7th. Please vote for me, Marcus DiNatale, and it has been an honor and privilege to serve you, the residents of Fitchburg, all these many years. Thank you very much.
Good day, Fitchburg. Well, here we are again during another campaign cycle. I am Amy Green, seeking re-election as a Fitchburg at-large city councilor. I want to talk to you about encouragement. I, too, am a resident of our 01420 community that drives our streets, uses our services, pays property taxes, uses electricity, and utility service at both my house and my business. We are all a part of this city we call home. I know you. You shop at Market Basket, enjoy concerts on the Common, attend historical events, volunteer with community organizations. You really enjoy the debate on who has the best pizza, Clegon House or Park Hill. You refer to Unitil as bleep when you get the bill. Me too. We are not so different, you and I. We want to be part of a great community. My role as a city councilor is to hear and understand your concerns and work within our scope of practice to address those issues. Even with some of our challenges we faced over these past years, we've gained an abundance of new business. El Toro Steakhouse, Fabric and Things, Last Minute Gifts and Flowers, Oliver's Cafe, NGE Sports Performance, Rise and Grind, and Mackenzie Regional Workforce Center. We welcome you and hope those of you watching will frequent these local shops often and remember to thank an existing business that calls Fitchburg home. Supporting local keeps more money here in town. We've also taken on ambitious projects that will have a direct positive impact on all of us. Crocker School rebuild, the B.F. Brown project, Fitchburg Public Library, addressing our housing shortage, and the concerns for those of you who pay a Unitil bill. The Crocker Elementary School rebuild will gross over 100,000 square feet and will be home to 800 plus students in fall of 2025. Our school district received almost $40 million in grant money to replace the 56-year-old school. We will be able to enrich the lives of those students for years to follow. Our B.F. Brown project is in full swing of transforming the 3-building complex into residential units of artist-preferred housing, rentable studio space, and a community gathering place. This is a project that has been in the making for a long time that will renew that neighborhood and affirm our city as an artist collaborative community. In 1859, the citizens of Fitchburg request a warrant for the first Fitchburg Public Library. Now, 164 years later, the fourth library structure will begin to transform that corner of our downtown once again. As Director Deb Hinkle states, public libraries are recognized as the most trusted of institutions and are a key resource for enabling people to work and learn in a comfortable and safe space for all. Working through the municipal aggregate process, Fitchburg now has an option available for an alternative source to the electric portion of your Unitil bill. This now provides residents and business owners cheaper, more stable, and potentially cleaner and greener energy plans. It also gives us more agency over energy sourcing. We've been able to offer and continue to address the housing shortage and lack of affordable spaces. 15 years in the making, we worked closely with Nick Pelletier, taking a burned-out empty lot, a bankrupt foundation project, to a 7 two-bedroom units of market-rate housing called the Crescent Townhomes. We worked with the Morin Square Apartments, offering brand-new studio 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units, offering affordable, income-based, and market-rate housing in the heart of our city. I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and thank the directors and contractors that have made substantial upgrades and improvements to our Fitchburg housing. These are very ambitious projects that have taken a collaboration between public and private partnerships. I am confident that we will provide options to the residents of the city that will provide a safe place to live, work, and a place to be proud of. I am asking for your vote on November 7th so I can continue to be of service to those who need me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anthony Zarella. For the last 6 years, I've had the privilege of serving Fitchburg as one of 5 councilors at large. And for the last 3 of those years, my colleagues on the council have done me the honor of unanimously voting their trust in me as council president. And what can I say? I've loved every minute of it. Fitchburg is my home. I and my brother were born and raised here. My father and aunts were born and raised here. My daughter, Miriam, and my nieces, Jules and baby Sam, are Fitchburg kids. I visit my grandparents at St. Bernard Cemetery after they spent their whole lives here and imparted to their entire family a bone-deep love of this city. But since becoming an elected official, what has made the greatest impression on me is the love I've received from this city. the people who've supported me every step of the way, the people whose eyes light up when they see how Fitchburg has risen above its struggles and come back to life in an inspiring way. The fellow public servants who pour endless hours of effort into keeping our Fitchburg Renaissance moving. And the private business owners and investors who have shown their trust and belief in the revitalization of Fitchburg and put their money where their mouth is in a very real way. Now, heading into my 4th election season, I'm asking for your support in spending another 2 years doing the job I love for the city I love. On November 7th, please consider casting one of your 5 votes for Councillor at Large for Anthony Zarella. But as always, please, even if you don't vote for me, make sure you vote. This is your city and your home too, and your voice needs to be heard. Thank you, and best of luck to all those running.
Hi, my name is Jessica Jacobson, and I'm running for City Councilor at Large. I have lived in Fitchburg most of my life, and I am now raising my children here. In my high school days and throughout my college years at the Mount, I plowed for the Fitchburg DPW. I'm a mom. I am frustrated by the current city council's practices of limiting citizens' freedom of speech, religion, and medical decisions by using intimidation tactics and relentlessly working against the few citizens that dare to attend the meetings, intentions of speaking their concerns. Representatives of the people are responsible to honor their oath of office, which outlines ethical standards that must be abided by. This adherence to set standards seems to be lacking by the majority of the current city members. I will vote in favor of medical freedoms. What may be good for one individual group or group of individuals is not what should be enforced upon everyone else. I will continue to fight for the accountability of public officials trying to delay or stop altogether the citizens from filing petitions or get involved in the government process. Public officials should not be allowed to use their government power to falsely label citizens, slander, tease, mock, belittle, or spread hate concerning them. They're using their social medias as divisional tools to spread false information and hate is wrong. Our local public officials should never be allowed to use their power to intimidate or cancel citizens they oppose. No citizen should feel intimidated into silence when desiring to attend a city meeting, to express their views on any topic concerning the city they live in, and due to fear of the possible backlash, knowing one will be held accountable for their actions may just result in more honorable behavior. Currently, the city has no process for a citizen to file a misconduct complaint against a public official or hold them accountable. While many candidates will promise accountability and transparency, they are the same ones in the cancel clubs that run this city using their position to push shameful practices that I previously mentioned while practicing nepotism. I promise to vote against the hypocrisies when I see them. For example, citywide effort to keep the Leominster Birthing Center. Is it necessary? Absolutely. I birthed all 3 of my children there. But what's important to remember is that one time we had our own birthing center right here in Fitchburg. We also had our own mental health ward at Burbank campus too. Fitchburg desperately needs this today. Fitchburg recently let our father's house close. They desperately needed program to help not only the homeless, but so many residents with funding for housing right here in Fitchburg. Where was the outcry to keep those doors open and these much needed services here in our town when we had the chance to do something about it? We need services like these here that we lost in our own city instead of delegating the responsibility of care for these citizens to other cities. While we focus on painting buildings and sidewalks, we need to stop putting Band-Aids on our bullet wounds. I will suggest being more fiscally responsible, not taking grant after grant, many of which do not cover everything, leaving us with the cost to shoulder. Simply on the idea we'd be foolish not to. I'd push the council to act as an independent body to scrutinize the expenditures when reviewing the proposals and grants, not just rubber stamp them because they seem good, without serious consideration to actual end cost. We know that an accumulation of small amounts will add up fast and eat away at our general fund. I will vote against new taxes and fees, such as the road use fee that keeps being pushed by many of our current city councilors, knowing that wisdom to live within our means as a city is crucial. These type of proposals hurt many citizens here in Fitchburg that are living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm here to represent them. We all know that a candidate can never make everyone happy, but what we can do is look for the common ground, what we can do to achieve that goal so that citizens are all represented, not just the ones we agree with. We should respect everybody's rights and ensure true equality for residents of all colors, sexes, and religions. I promise to listen to everyone's concerns, not just the ones I agree with. And then there's Unitil. Well, at least we have our streetlights back on. I might be a long shot, but this is a race worth fighting for. Again, please vote for Jessica Jacobson, City Councilor. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jim McNamara, and I'm a candidate for Councilor at Large at the upcoming Fitchburg election. I want to take a minute to tell you about myself. I'm the oldest of 7 children. I grew up in a 2-decker on Madison Street in the Cleghorn section of Fitchburg. I'm married to Tricia Kennedy, who was a school teacher in Fitchburg for 35 years. I went to St. Joseph's Grammar School, St. Bernard's High School, and then Holy Cross College, where I studied chemistry. I then went to the University of Connecticut, where I earned a doctorate in pharmaceutical sciences. After receiving my doctorate, I went to California to work for SRI International, otherwise known as the Stanford Research Institute, to conduct pharmaceutical research. I returned home in 2005 when I accepted an executive position at UMass Medical School to lead their intellectual property department. I retired 2 years ago in June of 2021. So I'm new to this process. This is my first attempt at politics. And I'm asked by many people, why do you want to ruin your retirement by running for city council? And I think it's a simple answer for me. It's to address the deplorable state of the roads in Fitchburg, which I think has reached a point of crisis. I'm also motivated by my best friend, who recently had liver surgery, and 2 weeks on after his surgery, he was driving down Electric Ave to come to my house, and he said, Jim, that was the most painful ride I've ever had, because there's no place on Electric Ave where you can go without hitting a pothole. I'm also motivated by, unfortunately, family and friends who I've had to take to Burbank over the last 2 years to receive radiation or chemotherapy, where they tell me that the worst part for them of their whole ordeal is driving to and from Burbank on city streets. I'm motivated by the resident who told me he's trying to teach his 6-year-old how to ride a bike. And even with training wheels, there are so many potholes in front of their house that she can't get it right, and she's now afraid to learn how to ride a bike. Finally, I'm motivated by 2 friends of mine who are good examples of people who suffered damage to their vehicles. One spent $3,000 fixing her suspension, the other $300 fixing damage to a wheel when she went through a pothole on Pepper Road. This is not right. The taxpayers and residents of Fitchburg deserve better for the taxes that we pay. When we think about the role of government, the central role, to me, the main job is for them to provide for the general welfare. When you talk about small cities and towns, that to me means transportation, infrastructure. It means our city roads. We all have to get from point A to point B for whatever we do in our lives, work, groceries, doctors, whatever. Fitchburg is failing with its dilapidated roads. I believe the condition of our roads makes them unsafe. How many people drive down the road focused on potholes and avoiding them, not the motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists who might be on the road as well? How much damage is done to our cars and trucks every day? It may be hard to measure the actual cost, but it is nevertheless significant. I think most importantly, people do not enjoy driving in and through Fitchburg because of the roads. At a present rate of investment, we pave perhaps 1 to 2 miles of roadway per year. Unfortunately, there's over 236 miles in Fitchburg, which will take 150 years to fix. How long are you going to live? We'll be told that the problem is too difficult, too hard to solve, but I'm reminded of President Kennedy's words announcing our mission to the moon. We choose to do these things, not because they're easy, but because they are hard. He understood that solving hard problems benefited everybody. I have a long career in research and business. I'm used to solving hard problems and getting difficult things done. I want to apply that to solving the city's problem. Fixing our roads will benefit all of us. It will create incentives and desire for our business to locate in Fitchburg, including Main Street. More people will want to live here, which will help housing and revitalize our neighborhoods. Better roads means a better Fitchburg, which is a better future for all of us. So if you agree with me that fixing our roads now is important, please vote for me, James McNamara, Councilor at Large, in the upcoming election on November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Derek Strasdis and I'm running for City Council at Large. Fitchburg has always been a big part of my life. My family has run its business here for over 4 decades. I grew up right here in Fitchburg. My father started his business, SS Lobster, here on River Street. My mother started her business, Little Feet, here in Park Hill Plaza. Growing up, anytime we needed something, we came here to Fitchburg for it. We frequented Shacks for our formal attire, Market Basket for our groceries, Singapore for our Chinese, Elliott's for our watch repair, Il Forno for a night out, or Marchetti's for our pizza. We came here for everything. Over the years, as things have changed, businesses have seemed to struggle to remain in our beautiful city. With the presence of online shopping and other evolving business models, we have faced a new reality. It is time that we look forward to new solutions for old problems. Our problem here in Fitchburg is not so much getting businesses to come here, but getting businesses to stay here and succeed here. Luckily, there are some solutions at hand. In order to be more business friendly, we need to streamline the process to open a business right from the idea up to the permits. We need to establish any and all ways to help these businesses, whether it's by grant writing, safety concerns, or parking concerns. We need to work with businesses to help them get up to code in a safe but cost-efficient manner over a period of time that works for them. Our city can only succeed when our economy succeeds. We need local businesses to thrive and attract outside revenue for this to come to fruition. We also need for our city to expand its business hours in order to boost our local economy. Right now, our city has minimal nightlife, meaning there's little money being spent here after 10 p.m. We used to have a vibrant nightlife scene in our downtown. We can bring that back and then some. Most college towns benefit from the late night crowd, while we have remained seemingly stagnant in that regard. As a businessman in the city, I would like for establishments to know that they have an ally in this council. Someone who has been in their shoes and dealt with similar issues. I would like to be someone they can voice their concerns to in hopes of finding practical and approachable solutions to solvable problems. I would like to help businesses find their footing sooner in order to be the most efficient version of themselves. We have lost enough good businesses already. Let's find a way to curb that trend together. We need to make new friends, but keep the old, as they say. Throughout COVID, many people had the opportunity to stay home and to stay safe. Many people, including our city council, completed the duties of their jobs remotely. During these times, as an essential employee, I got up every day and I served the public. I put on a face mask and I went to work. My family and I made sure that people in this city had what they needed to get through each and every day. I served this community in some of the most uncertain times. And now I'm standing before you and asking you how else I can help. As a first-time candidate, people have told me that you need to have thick skin to be a city councilor. Well, I can assure you, in the times of Facebook and Yelp, I've been training my whole adult life for that, and I'm up for that challenge. Our city council should be a reflection of our city. Our city council is here to represent the voices of our city. As a small business owner on the council, I seek to reshape the narrative. In closing, each one of you will get 5 votes for this city council. I ask to be one of your 5 votes. I'm running a campaign that is not asking or taking any donations. I'm not asking for any endorsements. I'm seeking to do what's right for Fitchburg by voting the way the constituents ask me to vote. No strings attached. So I ask you one question. Can I count on your vote? We need fresh faces in this council, and a vote for me is a vote for getting back to business. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miranda Tozier Robbins, and I believe that we can make Fitchburg great again. This is my second time running for City Council here in the city of Fitchburg. For the past 2 years, I have watched every council meeting, every finance meeting, every public safety and public works meeting, and I caught a couple airport commission and wastewater meetings. So I've been keeping myself up to date on everything that's been going on since the last elections until now. If elected, I will vote no to accepting grants for projects that we don't need, that nobody wants, because the city always has to end up footing the other half of the bill anyways on these projects that nobody wants. Someone has to say it, though, that Fitchburg likes to brag about its role in abolition history, about how they helped abolitionists flee slavery from the South, but they still have yet to represent themselves in government. Just thought I'd throw that fact out there. Many people associate me as the poor candidate. That I am. I'm the only candidate who's probably actually lived on the streets of Fitchburg. The only candidate who probably has any idea of what's wrong with our criminal justice system, that understands firsthand, incarceration reform, prevention, and after services, things that we need. Speaking of criminal justice, I'm actually going back to school this fall, pursuing my second bachelor's degree, this time in political science, so that I can help be a public defender, since the public defenders that we do have never seem to have time for anyone's case, or they actually never even tell their clients all of their rights and things like that. If anybody's seen any of my business cards, which look like this, all over the streets, some of the topics include, fixing the roads, getting rid of Unitil, fiscal responsibility, building a youth center. That's something that I've been an advocate of for years. In the youth center that I want to build, I want to help with media literacy for adults and children, everybody. Adults and children can be in the youth center, but help with media literacy, civic knowledge. I think that it's very important that everybody should at least know, municipal government. Everybody, a lot of people participates in presidential elections, but people don't really know that it's your municipal local government that actually has more of an influence of your everyday life. And you'd be surprised at how many people in this city doesn't even know who the mayor is. Many people can't even name for you one person on the city council. And I think that type of knowledge is important for everybody to be able to get involved. During this elections and last elections as well, I have helped numerous people become registered voters here in the city of Fitchburg, and I think that that's very important. I'm probably the only candidate that can connect with everyday people and that can represent everyone, from the elite to the impoverished, everyone. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm always available. I'm always on Facebook. You can read all of my summaries, council summaries there. I'm always talking with everybody. But yeah, I believe we can make Fitchburg great again the way that it used to be back in the 1800s and early turn of the century. I think that what's been happening lately is that nobody has been paying attention to what our elected officials have been doing, so they just been doing whatever they want. And then it took a while for us to see the after effects, such as, all of our sober houses closing down. Our last homeless house has closed down, our father's house, and it's a shame. But yet they're accepting grants to turn Main Street into 2 lanes, and yet we still had to foot the other half of the bill, money that we don't have for a project that nobody wants. But yeah, so the only way for change to happen is to change who's in office. You keep electing the same people, you're going to keep getting the same results. So please, elect Miranda Tozier Robbins to Fitchburg City Council at large. Thank you.
My name is Beth Walsh, and I'm a candidate for councilor at large. I'm a Fitchburg native, born and raised, and in fact, my husband and I bought the house in which I grew up. I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters, and my parents were blue-collar workers who never went to college. Although my husband Jim and I moved away to go to college and follow employment opportunities, we always intended to return to Fitchburg, and we were glad we did. My education, experience, and work in the Fitchburg community have given me the necessary qualifications for the position of councilor at large. I am a former prosecuting and defense attorney. I retired as an associate professor of criminal justice in 2018 from Fitchburg State University after 20-plus years of teaching. I have been the Constituent Services Director for Senator John J. Cronin since January 2022. I served on the Fitchburg School Committee for 4 years, from 2013 to 2017, and as the Ward 6 City Councilor from January 2018 to December of 2021. I am a board member of the Friends of Coggeshall Park, a board member of Aging Services of North Central Massachusetts, and currently I'm an airport commissioner. I have served as a co-host for Inside Fitchburg right here on FATV since 2021, with a brief break in 2022. People in Fitchburg sometimes say that Fitchburg is not like it used to be when we were growing up. Those people are absolutely right. But when you think about it, nowhere is the same as it was when we were kids. But instead of bemoaning the past, I would like to concentrate on the future. Fitchburg is experiencing a resurgence right now. We are moving forward. I was at an event for my job the other day, and a woman approached me to say that she had driven up Main Street in Fitchburg, and she could not believe how much it had changed for the better. It is getting better, but we still have much more work to do. Fitchburg must continue to expand economic and community development. Bringing in more business will raise revenue, which can help to relieve the tax burden on residents. So far, the focus has been on downtown, but good things are happening all over Fitchburg, along the John Fitch Highway, in the Park Hill area, and in West Fitchburg, just for a few examples. New housing is going up. The artist community on Elm Street and the new Morin Square apartments, for example. Housing is definitely needed in this area, so we need to find ways to encourage developers to build and or renovate buildings in Fitchburg. We need to maintain the high academic standards that we have achieved in our schools. We also need to continue to improve our school buildings. The new Crocker School is currently under construction, and Longsdale Middle School has gotten a new roof and is in the process of getting new doors and windows with installation of solar panels in the very near future. Crocker Field is going to be restored to provide not only playing and practice fields for public schools, but also to provide community space for recreation. The classrooms in Goodrich Academy, my elementary school alma mater, are undergoing transformation as well. We need to continue to support increased funding for road improvement. Having an extensive plan is one thing, but locating the money to fund the plan is something else altogether. So we will have to think outside the box to find those funds. We must continue to support the public safety in our community. Firefighters and police officers keep our community safe. I am excited to think of all that is happening in Fitchburg, and more excited about how much more we can achieve. I know that I can make a significant contribution to build a better Fitchburg as a councilor at large, and I ask you to vote for Beth Walsh, councilor at large, on November 7th, 2023. Thank you very much.
My name is Bernie Schultz, and I'm running for re-election as the Ward 1 City Councilor in Fitchburg. It's been an honor to serve the people of Ward 1 for almost 4 years now. I appreciate everyone who has voted for me in the past elections. I've listened to your concerns and tried to do the best I can for you in the city. I often hear about broken berms and potholes and sidewalks blocked by vegetation. So I do have a lot of work to do with the Public Works Department. Commissioner Erickson's been very helpful, and I also serve on the Public Works Committee, so that I do see him very often. I've met many wonderful people since I've been a city councilor, people that work for the city, citizen volunteers on boards and commissions, my colleagues on the city council, and other people who live and work in Fitchburg. I want to keep learning and growing as a city councilor. I want to help find a way to pave more city streets while providing the essential services that we all need: police, fire, public works, water, cemetery divisions. Unfortunately, we've got ongoing infrastructure projects like sewer, stormwater separation, water main replacement, and bridge repair. So we have to wait for these projects often to be done before we can pave, because we just don't want to dig them up afterwards. I also would like to see the Water Street area in Ward 1 get upgraded. It's part of the latest urban renewal plan that gets updated every 10 years. And the rail trail is in that area, so I'm looking forward to seeing some great things happen in that area of the city, in that area of our ward. I will continue to hold Ward 1 meetings so you and I can listen to other city officials, explain their roles in our local government. At the meetings, you and I will continue to be able to ask questions of these officials and get answers from them. I would like to get more people, young and old, interested in city government. It's great that civics is back in the public school classrooms. Our young people need to learn about the local government, how it works, and how they can get involved. I invite all young people to come to the Ward 1 meetings that I hold, and to any government meetings that draws their interest. But if you can't make the meetings anytime, FATV does an excellent job recording the meetings, and they're available online at your convenience, so you can watch them anytime online. There's a lot of good things happening in Fitchburg. We've tried to maintain the businesses we have while also adding more businesses. There is a push to attract more minority businesses to Fitchburg, and that's a good thing. The city continues to hire more people of color to work for the city. That's a good thing, too. The city has recently approved a new elementary school, a substantial library renovation, a $40 million library renovation, and an arts community with dedicated housing for artists. There's a great need for housing in this area. I know everyone wants improvements to happen faster, but some patience is needed as we continue to move forward. I'm always looking to try to improve the quality of life in Fitchburg. We're very fortunate to have a university, art museum, and wonderful parks in the city to go to. And we also, the rail trail is going to be great. It's going to connect Leominster and Fitchburg. I hope that most people have been happy with my performance as a city councilor. I've always tried to be reasonable with my approach to the issues. If you agree with what I've done, please vote for me on November 7th for Ward 1 Fitchburg City Councilor. I would appreciate your vote. I want to continue to serve you to the best of my ability. As I said previously, it's an honor to serve you, and thank you for your support.
Hello, friends and neighbors of Ward 3. I am Andrew Kuchar, the incumbent of the Ward 3 seat of the Fitchburg City Council. My family and I have been residents of Ward 3 since 2007. My wife Katrina and I have been homeowners since 2011. I ask for your vote on November 7th in order to continue to help maintain the good work this city has done over the past decade. Contrary to the beliefs of some, the city of Fitchburg is in a good place, and we continue to improve and progress. We have turned a corner from the dark days of our city's history of our street lights being extinguished and layoffs by the truckload. We are now in a renaissance, where businesses are returning to the city, and Main Street, once vibrant, is returning to that state. We are improving parts of our infrastructure. with Circle Street and River Street bridges are in the process of being replaced, and yes, there is always more work to do. These aren't things that can be done with one snap of one finger. I stress patience and understanding as we continue to work for the good of the residents and the good of the business owners of our great city by the river. We're a city coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, and all elected officials worked to overcome the challenges they faced. When I was first elected in 2019, in addition to the learning curve of being your new Ward 3 City Councilor, we were all affected by the shutdown. This caused confusion and uncertainty in how the city officials did business. In light of all this, we got through it. Many of my plans were stalled as a result of the shutdown. We are still subjected to the challenges of that shutdown. Our DPW is still understaffed, but they continue to do the yeoman's job in responding to calls from the city. During my 2 terms on the City Council, I've been known as the watchdog of our Ward 3. Issues such as the Mad River Solar Farm off of Ashburnham Street and the proposed solar farm on Oak Hill Road has been the thorn of all of our sides of the residents for some time now. I have been at the side of Ward 3 residents as they have continued to deal with the residual effects. I'm calling on the city to explore a moratorium on solar farms that are destroying our natural green spaces. I have also worked to address certain issues about the infrastructure around your homes. Potholes have been addressed, berms and sidewalks have been repaired. These are challenges which are ongoing. Of course, many of you, I am too, are concerned about the state of our roads. I want to stress to you now that there is no magic wand to restoring these roads. For some time now, we have dealt a bad hand in terms of Chapter 90 money, the state account which handles road repair. Until recently, we have not had a bump headed to us in these monies. I do want to publicly thank our legislative delegation on Beacon Hill and State Representative Mike Kuzmarek and State Senator John Cronin for everything they have done to get us additional funding. We have over 100 miles of public roads in our city, and all of it needs to be maintained. We have geological challenges that our surrounding communities do not have. It is a constant battle. If anyone tells you that they have a secret formula to repairing the roads in Fitchburg, they are selling you something. There is no magic wand to fix our roads. As a local attorney, I have provided legal aid to my colleagues on the council to help them draft city-centric legislation, and I've helped the council traverse many pitfalls that could trip the city up into lawsuits, and have given counsel to our city solicitor, Vinnie Pusateri, in complex litigation discussions with the council. Continuing to be a steady, quiet hand on the city council is important to me, and it should be important to you as well. In addition to me with the City Council, I work with the city's emergency management team, and I'm the only city councilor on that team. I've been present on the 4th of July fireworks and National Night Out, not only as a spectator, but as a member of the team ready to assist. Thank you for your time, and again, I ask you to vote on November 7th for Andrew J. Kuchar, Ward 3 City Councilor. Thank you.
Hello, residents of Ward 3. I am Joe Bowen, and I am your candidate for running for Ward 3 City Councilor. Like you, I want to have the best representation for our ward. I ran for this position back in 2019, where none of the 3 candidates achieved more than 50% of the vote. This year, I intend to achieve over 50% of the vote by proving my hard work and dedication to the ward and demonstrating that by being accessible, approachable, and accountable, I am the person that will serve as your voice on the City Council. One of the main reasons I decided to run is because residents continue to reach out to me personally about their problems. When I ask them if they've reached out to Andrew, they say yes, but I haven't heard back, which is why I'm reaching out to you. Folks, that is a problem. I can guarantee you, as your counselor, your concerns are my concerns. Because I live in the same neighborhood as you, I drive down the same potholed, riddled roads with overgrown trees and blocked sidewalks as we see on roads like Westminster Hill Road, River Street, and Princeton Road. And it matters to me as much as it matters to you. That's who I'm here to represent. I'm here to represent you. I am a person who gets things done. Please have a pen handy because in a couple minutes, you'll be able to record exactly how to reach me, and I promise you, I will respond. Please have your city councilor should be organizing, promoting, attending, participating, and engaging with residents at events. They should hold regular ward meetings to inform and educate residents. But more importantly, they should be engaging in meaningful conversations so you can be served in the manner intended. I see a need in this ward, and I want to fill that need. I see potholes, trees growing out into the street, unmowed fields in our parks, and I say, where is our counselor? Residents ask me, where is our counselor? And many ask, who is our counselor? These things don't add up to fair representation for our ward, and I will be that person you can count on. There are no limits to my advocacy for Ward 3. I'm going to work with the DPW, the department heads, and the administration. I'm going to hear your concerns, and we are going to address those overgrown trees and blocked sidewalks. I'm going to advocate for every possible dollar of paving I can get for our ward. I'm not going to promise it, but I guarantee you this. I will be at the table advocating for it relentlessly. And why? Because I have lived here for a long time. I know the only way to improve Ward 3 is with action. And when we have a city councilor who isn't present and responsive, we cannot have action. You need to be present and responsive for that to occur, and we are not currently seeing that. Fitchburg's population has not changed in over 100 years. In its heyday, people flocked to Fitchburg to work, shop, dine, and be entertained. As a city councilor, I will work to make it easier for businesses to open and stay open. As a former business owner, I am a strong advocate for bringing business and community together. I have successfully built up Fitchburg as a destination location for arts and cultural events. This work has encouraged businesses to invest, creating an environment in which you and our neighbors can grow, prosper, and raise a family. Over the last 4 years, I have worked to train over 300 community stewards. This work has witnessed the emergence of new businesses and other organizations to bring things like jobs, resident education, licensed childcare facilities, guidance to purchase your first home, improved health outcomes for our underserved population, and I worked to secure not only jobs, but to reactivate a vacant building on Main Street right across the street from City Hall. I'd like to thank FATV for making this recorded speech possible. Please tell your family, neighbors, and friends to get out the vote and go with Joe on November 7th. When you get into that ballot booth on November 7th, think of who is going to work for you, who is going to be the city council that represents your needs. That person is me, Joseph Bowen. So when you get in there, please vote for me because I'm ready to work for you. Please visit my website at electjoebowen.com or contact me directly via text, phone, email, or simply tap me on the shoulder at any of the numerous events around the city that I attend all year. I will respond to every single request. My phone number is 978-868-3772, and my email address is joe@electjoebowen.com. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Andy Van Hazinga, and I'm running for re-election as Fitchburg's Ward 4 City Councilor. I'm running for City Council because Fitchburg is my home, and I want it to be a great place to live. I was born here in Ward 4. My wife and I bought our first home here in Ward 4, and now we're raising 3 children here. And we want Fitchburg to be a great place for them to raise their children and live their lives. If we want Fitchburg to be a great place to live, we have to make good decisions as a city. We need leaders who listen and talk to each other, think reasonably, and make good decisions not based on politics, but what is best for Fitchburg and its residents. Our city has limited resources, so it's so very important that we live within our means and spend our dollars wisely. We need to have the right priorities for Fitchburg.
Above all else, we need to focus on investment. We need to continue to invest in our public buildings and schools. We need to invest much more in our roads and infrastructure. And we need to maintain and take care of our investments so they continue to benefit the city and its residents for years to come. We also need to support those who invest in the city, because the government can't do it alone. We need to support the first-time home buyer who's buying the neglected house in your neighborhood. We need to support the developers who are reinventing the vacant block on Main Street and helping to revitalize downtown. We need to support the entrepreneurs who are working to achieve their dreams and opening businesses in the city of Fitchburg. Fitchburg needs to be a place where everyone is focused and working together on this common goal. This is how our city can grow successfully and be a great place to live, work, and invest. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to continuing to serve the residents of Fitchburg on the City Council.
Hello, residents of Ward 5. My name is Robert Talbot, and I stand before you today as a proud candidate for Ward 5 Fitchburg City Council. As a proud Fitchburg resident, I've made it a mission to contribute to the betterment of our community. Volunteering has been a core part of my life, from being deeply involved in initiatives like the Fitchburg Dog Park to the endless efforts of keeping Fitchburg beautiful. With a background in construction management and engineering, I have been selected to serve on the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Redevelopment Authority to offer insights that shape our abandoned property ordinances. But I believe it's time to amplify our efforts here in Ward 5. We need a Ward 5 representative that actively advocates for issues in our ward. Our roads, our sidewalks, and our parks deserve better and continued advocacy. As your representative, I pledge to be a tireless advocate for improvement. Infrastructure is the backbone of a thriving community, and I'm committed to ensuring that Ward 5 gets its fair share. My vision extends beyond just physical improvements. I've been committed to fostering a sense of unity and pride within our neighborhoods. Ward 5's Coolidge Park is an incredible space that holds immense potential for bringing our community together. It serves as a vibrant hub for families, friends, and individuals to gather, connect, create cherished memories, and I want to advocate for continued improvements of the park. The voices of Ward 5 are my main priority. Your concerns and ideas shape the roadmap to a better future. If elected, I promise to be a dedicated listener, responsive advocate, and a fierce champion for your needs and aspirations. In these challenging times, our city needs leaders who understand the intricate balance of progress and preservation. With my background, experience, my commitment and dedication to Fitchburg's improvement, I am ready to step up and make a difference to one of the largest gateways in Fitchburg. As we move forward together, I invite you to join me in shaping a Ward 5 that we can be proud of. Let's create a community that not only stands strong on a solid infrastructure, but also thrives on the connections we forge and the pride we share. Thank you for your support and trust. Together we can build a brighter future for Ward 5. Vote Robert Talbot for Ward 5, Fitchburg on November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Derek Cruz, and I am your incumbent Ward 6 City Councilor running for re-election. My first 2 years in office have been both enlightening and eye-opening. As a relative unknown and very inexperienced in politics, I'm not sure what I was expecting for my first tenure in office. Some of my expectations were met, and there were certainly plenty of surprises. But I've definitely learned a few things. I've learned that public service can be an incredibly rewarding experience, and at times, a frustrating one. I've learned that local government can be a wonderful thing that positively impacts the community, and that I've learned that it can be detrimentally egocentric. If I've learned anything about myself in my 2 years in office, it's that I will never be satisfied with the work that I've done. There will always be something else. There will always be something that I wish I could have accomplished or done differently or done better. And I will never be finished. No matter how much I try, no matter how hard I work, long after I'm gone, there will always be work that needs to be done. But I have done my best to make a positive impact in this city. In my first term, I've worked with constituents and departments and helped to earn more than $75,000 in grant funding for the city of Fitchburg and Ward 6. We filled potholes, kept departments accountable as best we could, and defended marginalized communities from attack. And I've been anything but another log-rolling rubber stamp. During this year's budget hearing, I proposed sweeping changes to how the city organizes its legal department and advocated against unsustainable wage increases, even though I knew my advocacy would likely fall on deaf ears. This election, this time around, it's no secret that I'm unopposed, and I'd like to think that speaks volumes about the work that I've done. I also know it has something to do with the fact that nobody else really wants this job. And there's a reason for that. It's public service. But I want the job, and God willing, and with your vote, I'll have it. And I can continue to do the best that I can for you, the residents of Ward 6. Perhaps the most important thing that I've learned in my almost 2 years in office is that you can't please everyone. I know that some disagree with the decisions that I've made and the things that I've had to say. But if I can make one campaign promise that I know I can keep, every decision that I make, I will do so because I believe it is the right thing for Fitchburg, not because I need to please someone. That's a promise you can count on. My name is Derek Cruz. I am your Ward 6 incumbent city councilor running for re-election, and I hope I've earned your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, I am Jim Walsh and I'm a candidate for re-election for the Fitchburg School Committee. I was born and raised in Fitchburg and have always considered Fitchburg my home, even when my wife Beth and I moved out of state to pursue education and employment opportunities. We returned to Fitchburg, which was always our plan, in the late 1980s. My involvement in public service began in 2012 with a 3-year appointment to the Fitchburg Cultural Council. In 2015, the Fitchburg Cultural Council was named the Massachusetts Cultural Council of the Year. I am a former president of the Friends of the Fitchburg Public Library and have served as a trustee of the Fitchburg Public Library since 2011. As a retired librarian, I am honored to serve in this role. A public library is one of the elements that makes a good city even better. As a 1975 graduate of Fitchburg State College, I have served on the Fitchburg State University Alumni Board for over 10 years. In 2018, I was chosen from among 3 other candidates to fill a vacant seat on the Fitchburg School Committee. In 2019, I ran for election and was selected by you, the voters of Fitchburg, to serve a 4-year term on the Fitchburg School Committee. I am proud of the work the Fitchburg School Committee and the Fitchburg School District have accomplished in the 5.5 years I have served. A new Crocker School is under construction. 55% of the cost is being funded by the Massachusetts School Building Authority. Longview Middle School has a new roof, a solar array, and new energy-efficient windows and external doors are currently being installed. Goodrich Academy classrooms are getting a facelift prior to the start of classes in September, and solar canopies will be installed at Fitchburg High School to reduce energy costs. What I am most proud of is how the district adapted in teaching our students during the COVID pandemic. Our teachers, paraprofessionals, nutrition services, custodial staff, and central office worked together to provide the best possible experience to our students under very trying circumstances. Our students and teachers are back in the classroom now, and everyone is working to get back to where we were pre-COVID. The school district has welcomed 72 new teachers for the 2023-24 school year. Teacher, paraprofessional, and substitute teaching openings remain, but Human Resources continues to advertise and interview potential candidates. I see a bright future for our school system and for the city of Fitchburg as a whole. Our students will play an integral role in our schools and city's future successes. I would like to continue to be a part of making the educational system even better. I am Jim Walsh, and I ask for your vote on November 7th to re-elect me to the Fitchburg School Committee. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Chris Batinzi. I'm running for school committee here in Fitchburg this November, and I'm here to ask for your vote. I've been an educator for a little over 6 years, including during the pandemic period. These past 3 years have been very challenging on everybody, students, educators, administrators, and all members of the community, parents as well. The most important thing now that we're exiting this COVID period is to get our students back to the classroom. Fitchburg currently has a significantly high absenteeism rate. And this year, my goal would be to welcome students back to Fitchburg Public Schools. Every student deserves a free and appropriate public education, and Fitchburg Public Schools is the community to provide it to them. We have many great things going on here in Fitchburg. We have new schools being built. Longview windows are being remodeled. Schools are being updated with new paint, new curtains, a more welcoming environment. This year alone, we have over 70 new teachers to the district starting. Fitchburg Public Schools are on the rise, and I hope to welcome all of our students back and show them that Fitchburg Public Schools is the place to be. With our schools come a new hunt for a superintendent. Currently, we have an interim superintendent, and the superintendent search will begin and continue in earnest. But the day-to-day business of the schools continues, and we have a great team in place. We have excellent support. We have principals throughout the school district. We have teachers who are engaged and enthusiastic about teaching all of our students in Fitchburg Public Schools. And it's us as a school committee who are responsible to the residents of Fitchburg to make sure that we are managing their money, their decisions, and the schools in the best possible way. As an educator for those past 6 years, I understand the importance of community engagement, listening to parents, providing feedback that's both constructive, helpful, and honest at the same time, because every student, no matter where they are in their school career, deserve the best information, the best of our experiences as educators and administrators and as stewards of the community, and they deserve the best opportunity to succeed. The opportunities include providing a welcoming environment, providing knowledgeable, competent, enthusiastic teachers, skilled administrators and superintendents, and a caring school committee who is responsible for the public education of all of our students. At the heart of what we do in the schools is we put the best interests of the children first. COVID, quite frankly, has thrown up a lot of the traditional practices that we've had for decades. Going forward, Fitchburg has a real opportunity to look at its practices and decide on who we are and what we want to be going forward. Now, one of my colleagues, who's a superintendent in another school district, he told me that's something that stuck with me. He said, social emotional learning is the reading, writing, and arithmetic of the 21st century. And I genuinely believe that to be true. I think through the relationships that we create with our students, the relationships that the member of the school committee have with each other, and the whole town, we all have an opportunity to put our best foot forward so that we're providing the best educational opportunities to all of our students. We have a great success of graduating students from Fitchburg to go on to Ivy League schools, to go on to trades, to go and prepare students directly for the workforce. And I think we have a responsibility to maintain our standards and our promises to our students going forward. And it's up to our community to determine the future of Fitchburg Public Schools. I would like to be part of that future. My name is Chris Batinzi, and I ask that you vote for me this November 2023 to serve on the school committee of Fitchburg Public Schools. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lindsay England, and I'm running for school committee. I have 2 children in the Fitchburg Public School system, one in elementary school and one in middle school. So I'm looking to represent Fitchburg not only as a resident, but as a parent of Fitchburg students. If elected, my objective is to represent the students with their best interest in mind. Our children should be able to attend school feeling safe, unjudged, and unpressured, so that they can focus on what is really important, their education and their personal and social development. Social and personal issues such as Black Lives Matter, gay pride, personal identity, sexuality have no place in the school system curriculum. It is up to the parents, it is their right and their responsibility of the parents and the families to teach their children as they see fit. While the school system is there to support us, to support families as needed, it is not and should not be the responsibility of the school system to teach and instill these values. I'm Lindsay England, and I'm running to fight for what is right and just for the children of our city as a whole. Vote for me, and I will fight for our children. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Debbie Jeffries, and I'm a candidate for the Fitchburg School Committee. My knowledge of curriculum, communication skills, and passion for education qualify me for this elected position. First, a little about me. I was born in Fitchburg, graduated from St. Bernard's High School in 1981, receiving the coveted All-Bernardian Girl Award. I earned both my bachelor's and master's degrees in education from Fitchburg State College. In 2019, I was Crocker School's Rotary Club Teacher of the Year, and in 2022, I was a semifinalist in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl Honor Roll. I'm married to my amazing husband, Steve, and we have an adorable cat named Buddy. I retired in June from the Fitchburg Public Schools. I proudly taught for 36 years at Crocker Elementary School. I spent the first 26 years teaching second grade. Then I moved to a reading interventionist for 6 years, and I ended my career the last 4 years as a literacy coach. Over the course of my career, I've had the privilege of working with hundreds of students and families. I am still in contact with many of them due to the interest I showed each beyond the walls of the school. It's wonderful to hear about their families, careers, travel. The relationships that were built is something I treasure. And relationship building will be necessary as a school committee member, working with other committee members, school personnel, and the public to get things done. Our population in Fitchburg includes students with different abilities coming with various skill sets. As a former literacy coach, my knowledge of the elementary reading and writing curriculum makes me stand out as a candidate. I have always believed that all students can learn. Success looks different for everyone. However, when you get to know students and how they learn, it can be achieved. If elected, I'd like to share success stories happening throughout the city. My position required me to provide professional development within my building and across the district. Occasionally, I found myself in situations where educators did not see eye to eye on instructional practice. I needed to be able to put my feelings aside and look at what was going to be best for students. This ability to organize, look at things with an open mind, and deliver material in a clear and concise way will be necessary for my participation at school committee meetings. Knowing firsthand the day-to-day operation of a school is another asset I bring to the position. I've had the opportunity to work with teachers, paras, secretaries, custodians, cafeteria workers, administrators, and other staff. These dedicated Fitchburg Public School employees are some of the hardest working people you'll find anywhere. They go above and beyond their hired position on a daily basis, giving me the ability to speak on additional topics that include social emotional learning, second language learners, and inclusion. I was fortunate to participate in the groundwork for the planning of the new Crocker Elementary School. This experience helped me gain knowledge in the funding of a new building, as well as the process behind such a project. I spoke at a city council meeting in favor of this school. Although it was no surprise that a teacher from Crocker would be in favor, it was surprising to hear that my speech wasn't anything about being from Crocker. It was about how this new school would benefit the entire school district, as well as the city in its continued progress. This is an example of how I will represent all. And as in the case with many of you, from time to time I read complaints about the district on social media. Although some are valid concerns, others are a stretch of the truth. With me sitting on the school committee, I will address the concerns of the citizens, but I also will commit to changing the perception of the Fitchburg Public Schools. I will dedicate myself to all Fitchburg students and talk about the many things that make our district shine. If you would like someone approachable, hardworking, and visible, who will never be heard putting down the Fitchburg schools, I'm for you. Please consider voting for me, Deborah Jeffries, Fitchburg School Committee.
Hello, my name is Jean Robbie. I am running for a seat on the Fitchburg School Board. I moved to Fitchburg in 2016. I have 2 amazing grandchildren in the Fitchburg school system. I'm your everyday mother, grandmother, with concerns about the direction our education system is going. After trying to get copies of curriculums with great difficulty, I began my journey attending school board meetings. Over the past 2 years, I attended several board meetings. Not only did I voice my concerns, but I watched as other parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, teachers, and students tried to voice their opinions, or tried to be heard, sorry. I began to notice that only a few board members were actually listening. Too many board members were busy on their phones, looking around, not listening. They just weren't listening. I soon realized that our voices were not being heard from some of the board members. This is when I decided I needed to do something. I needed to give the voices back to the parents, grandparents, teachers, and students. So I am running for school board to just do that. If elected, I will work hard to advocate for all voices to be heard. I will work to make all curriculums not so difficult to obtain, and for total transparency for all curriculums, for all children, for today's as well as tomorrow's. I will work in a direction that will prepare our students for a bright and successful future. I will listen to concerns and suggestions from all without bias. Our students' future is not about our bias. It's about teaching them to search out their own answers, to be proud of their own successes. So together, let's make this great town of Fitchburg the leading example for all Massachusetts schools. Thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you again.